Good evening to all my students. My name is Abdul Muheeb. 2 days ago, we started our internship series and we completed the orientation day 1 and day 2. Today, we are going to start the day 3. As we already know, today we will discuss client counseling. The client counseling is a very important aspect in an advocate's life, in an advocate's profession. As an intern, you have to be you have to observe very keenly how an advocate conducts himself when a client comes. So when an when interns go to any advocate for client observation, how an intern should conduct himself. So you can write down in your notes how you should be able to how you will be writing your the internship diary. Now I'll be dictating you or I'll be telling in you in point form so that it is easy who are listening to this video can write it in your notes and can rephrase it afterwards. So the very first point starts with my advocate instructed me to sit in a client meeting and observe how the client counseling pro forma was used. Then second point you can write that what you have observed. Client counseling is the first and most delicate stage of legal practice because it lays the foundation for trust between the advocate and the client. Now, whatever the pro forma the advocate gives, the intern needs to study it very thoroughly. Now, you have to describe the pro forma of the client interview or the client counseling. The pro forma of the client counseling was structured to capture the essential information such as client's personal details, facts of the case, documents in hand, what are the relief sought by the client, and possible legal remedies and the risks involved. Next point, you have to make sure that after recording all these things, now the continuation of the meeting. As the meeting unfolded, I observed how the advocate balances empathy with professionalism. The client was how the client was conducting himself. You have to describe it in your internship diary. The client was narrating the problem emotionally, but the advocate guided the discussion systematically, filling the pro forma step by step. Now, the conduct of this advocate ensured that no fact was missed and the narrative, what was the story or the narration which was told by the client, was converted into a legally relevant sequence. Next, while all this was unfolding, you also noticed that now you have to write in a first person voice. I also noticed that how an advocate clarified the differences between legal rights and the client expectations, thereby managing trust without creating false hopes. Now we have to, as an intern, you have to divide or classify your observation into multi-pronged aspects such as analytical perspective, such as logical perspective, such as legal perspective. So let us discuss the analytical perspective and its major purposes. The very first Sorry. First point, it acted as a record for the advocate, ensuring accuracy in drafting petitions. Second purpose, it protected the advocate from future disputes regarding advice given. Third purpose, it helped identify at an early stage whether the matter was civil, was criminal, or it required any ADR mechanism. Now, once this counseling session happened, what was the lessons learned? As you have to describe in your diary, by the end of this counseling session, I realized that law is not only about statutes and precedents but also about human interaction and communication. One of your biggest takeaways should be how a skilled advocate must conduct himself, and the most important point is a listening point. How a skilled advocate must be a good listener, a patient guide, and a clear communicator. The final conclusion should be the client counseling therefore is an art as well as science that demands sensitivity as much as legal knowledge. So by this today we understood how an advocate conducts his client, and for this observation I have given a pro forma to the students, and anyone wants the pro forma they can message me, I'll send it on WhatsApp. So by this today we'll end our day 3 client counseling method by an advocate. Your observation in advocate office. Thank you.